Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's your boy DJ Escanor representing DJX Productions. I know it's been a long time since I did a video game review, but it took me a while to beat Ghost of Tsushima. This game should have been called Assassin's Creed Japan. Just kidding. This game really connected with me since the get-go. As a gamer who loves single-player games and the long journeys and the long path ahead, this one really had a lot of plot twists thrown in there. Honestly, playing the game and unraveling secrets got me hooked on the game even more. I took my sweet time beating it, taking it a bit slow because I don't want to get bored of it quickly. But to my surprise, even if I did focus on one thing a lot, something new would always pop up to remind you of the other things, and you would never get too bored because you find yourself lost and immersed in the world. I will discuss this game, but I will avoid any major spoilers for the game because it's still relatively new, and I don't think a lot of people beat it yet. But nonetheless, consider the spoiler warning because I will talk about small details for combat that are story-based. Combat. So in this game, I was pretty surprised I didn't get the usual RPG or kind of Dark Souls-esque feel to this game. There's no lock-on system, so it was kind of a bit of a learning curve. It kind of took you away from other combat games that let you lock on and stuff like that and fight, which was kind of refreshing. And what was interesting were the buttons, pretty easy and simple. Hit square to attack, triangle to a heavy, and start using your special stance attacks. We'll go over stance later on. There were different ways to fight in the game. You can fight stealthy, go around and assassinate people. You can challenge people with the standoff ability, which lets you enter like a little kind of animation where you get to one-hit people, but it's only up to like 3 people. Or you can do both. Parrying, parry, parry. I can't stress it enough how much you need to learn how to perfect parry in this game. It will help you in the long run. It also gives you resolve, which you need in combat to perform special mythic skills or healing. We'll go over special skills later on. Item progression was so interesting this time around, so you get to keep the same sword throughout the entire game and the same smaller sword which is used for assassination. You can upgrade either one at any black swordsmith, and eventually you can max out the mini sword, which pretty much gets you like the perfect assassination like they do in Assassin's Creed. In the beginning, you can how the assassinations work is that they attack, and Jin, the main character, he kind of struggles with assassinating, and it makes a lot of noise. Also, when you upgrade the bigger sword, the main weapon, you do more damage for sure, and it attacks a little faster in my opinion. It also makes things more fluid in combat. Now you get skins, which are what we call sword kit sets, which are purely cosmetic and don't affect the stats at all. Also different armor sets, which the different armors have different bonuses, but it's not like there's like a health defense kind of stat. No, it's like everything has like a stealth detection, bonus health, faster like reload speed when you use the bow and stuff like that. Now we're gonna dive into stances. Here are some minor spoilers warning for the game. So there are gonna be 4 main stances used in the beginning. You get them unlocked by killing or observing Mongol leaders. Start off with the stone stance, which is useful against swordsmen because it will do the most stagger damage, which is used to break the guard. The heavy attacks are meant to overwhelm your opponent, and it's like kind of like a thrusting action. You stab, stab, stab. That's what you get with the stone stance. Then we have the water stance, which is useful against shields. The concept here is fast and strong and unrelenting against the shield, breaking the guard. This is like really fast overhand, two-handed strike. Just think of like Darth Vader style, pretty much. And then we have the wind stance, which is very unique. You use kicks and vertical spins against spears. It's supposed to knock spearsmen off their balance, which is supposed to break the guard. Honestly, it's kind of like a Darth Maul kind of combat style. Then you have the moon stance, which is your best friend against brutes. This moon stance focuses on roundhouse kicking your brute in the face and stunning him and creating an opening you need to unleash a barrage of attacks. The final stance you unlock later on in the main story is called Ghost Stance. I was like, what the hell? This is so insane, because this is one special stance because you need to kill 7 enemies without taking damage and you enter the Ghost Stance. Or I think you can trigger it by assassinating a Mongol leader. So what it does is that like the screen goes like black and white, and then you get to like one-shot kill like any opponent. 3 of them, but only 3. And then you get to terrify the enemy, making them run away. Insane. Now we talk about tails. Tails were some of the most interesting things you could really do. So they're the side missions pretty much from the game, but some of them are about like your main allies, which they look like they're gonna be main missions. The first side tail for all your allies are part of the main quest because that's how you recruit them. But don't want to spoil it too much. Also, you can complete any of the tales at your own pace, so you can even finish the game and go back to it, so it never pressures you to finish them. but there are interesting things to go on. You can do the order out of any sequence, so you can do like 7 out of 9 and then go back to 3 out of 9. It's kind of weird, but I'm not tripping about it. Also, the major effects don't affect the game, because spoiler alert, one of your allies does pretty much die, but you use them in the final battle, so don't worry about that too much. Also interesting because they talk about like Japanese myths and tales, especially like the mythic tales, like the Dance of Wrath, the archer armor you get. There's Gusaku, it's pretty much like a legend in Japan, and then yeah, stuff like that. So, final verdict. Overall, this game was one of the most interesting story-driven games I have played. I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan. This was the hottest game, and I thought, why not? I thought, okay, it's pretty similar, but it definitely has its own identity. So you're pretty safe on that part. I thought it was just gonna be Assassin's Creed Japan, but it's definitely not. It has a completely different style. And when you watch the story and you watch the plot unravel, you're like, whoa, okay, that happened? It's crazy. And so you play as Jin Sakai, and then you watch yourself become something else to save everyone. You start off as a samurai, all about honor and Bushido, and you lost your father, and now your uncle, he's like the local warlord of the island of Tsushima, or Tsushima. I heard people pronounce it different ways. Sorry if I pronounce it correctly. And then so you have that battle at the Komoda beach, and yeah, and you get slaughtered by the Mongols and by Khotan Khan. Sorry, Khotan Khan is like Mortal Kombat. Pretty weird. And then so you get picked up and rescued by Yuna, who pretty much you were left for dead, but she nursed you back to health. And you go on a quest to save your uncle, liberate the island, and then along the way you meet other people. Without spoiling too much, you kind of do some questionable things that samurai don't do. And you're starting to realize the way the samurai is not the way to win this war. Actually, the way of samurai is how you're losing. Like, the Mongols have realized that samurai are predictable, and they use this tactic to beat the samurai, and that's why they keep losing until, like, you know, you go full ghost. That's why the game is called Ghost of Tsushima. You become the ghost. You kind of rescue the island, and then at the end you get to choose. You're presented with an ultimatum. Don't want to spoil it, but you choose an ultimatum, and whatever decision you get is exclusive skin. And actually, skins are not that bad. I definitely recommend to buy this game, even at full price. It's actually really worth the $60. But if you do a lot of all the side missions and everything, it's about 20-30 hours, so you get your money's worth. Alright guys, see you next time on the channel. Bye bye.